good morning, good noon, good evening, wherever time and place you're listening to us from. Straight from the 909. It's Mark, Trizz, and myself, Isaiah. Together, that's hip hop. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Today, we're with IE local legend, but put it in reverse, he's a legend who happens to be in the IE.
Hell yeah.
Actively putting the IE on the map. His music initially carried a horrorcore label due to its dark and intense themes, but over time, Trizz has evolved to incorporate a distinct West Coast sensibility, blending nimble piano riffs with G-funk synths, reminiscent of the classic LA gangsta rap sound. His ability to document the darker aspects of the suburban life while maintaining a connection to West Coast rap traditions has made his work both unique and influential. Plus, his backstory coming up is one of hip-hop legend. To live and die in suburbia, Mr. Rip Gut Leatherface Trizz. Yeah. Welcome to the show.
What's going on?
Yes, sir. Yeah, so we connected through Selfie's video shoot.
Yeah, that's Mark. My boy.
Yeah, he just, I think it was like on a Saturday. No, it was on Labor Day.
Labor Day,
yeah. Yeah, it was on Labor Day.
Yeah.
And I had to tell Trizz, like, dude, I've been like following you, I think since Leatherface 2 is when I got into the fold at that point. And so, yeah, we were there, we connected. I just had to ask him because it just, you know, this is what we're doing, and it'd be dope to kind of cover and learn a bit more about Trizz. How did you meet Selfie? I'm kind of curious.
I met Selfie through his brother Edgar.
Oh, okay. Okay. I knew it was one of the two.
I met Edgar at the Vibe. You know, Noah James used to throw the shows and shit at the Vibe in Riverside.
Okay, yeah.
And you know, going through that era, I was always performing and shit up there. Or sometimes I would just go catch local shows and shit. You know, for a Sunday night out. And then one night Edgar was there, and he had gave me one of his CDs, one of his I think the Mexican American album that he got.
Yep.
And we connected like that, and then from there, me and him like became genuine friends. And from there, like shit, he introduced me to Selfie, and then they just became my boys, like my family. So like I'm always with them. Them is the homies. Whenever I come out here, like I hang out with them. So.
Dang.
Now I got a new cousin.
Yeah, I'm real.
That's the power of networking, though. If you meet you met him at Selfie's because he was doing the music video shoot for his new project, in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. And then I've been wanting to have Edgar Sosa on too as well. Yeah. You know, I haven't been able to arrange that yet. So I told you, you know, I've been a fan. I've been following you for a bit.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and I think, man, your shit's. You know, like I already kind of got you now. Like anytime I hear you, I know the beat's about to be banging for sure. Yeah. Like that's automatic. But then also too, it's like you have like kind of your own tempo, you know, with the way you go about it. Mm-hmm. And even if the beat changes up, it's like, yeah, you're still delivering it the same way still, and it's dope. It works.
Yeah.
But I was just gonna ask you, like, you know, kind of where did it start? I know I've read that it started like when you were about 9 years old, pretty young. But like, what really did inspire you? Like,
well, shit, I grew up in a house of music. In terms of like, my dad was a major music connoisseur. Like he collected vinyl and CDs, and it would be days like he would dedicate his weekends to just go crate digging and like just go buy CDs really and shit like that. And so that's kind of where I like got the ear for music, you know what I mean? Like jazz, funk, oldies, hip hop, you know what I mean? Like my dad was like really indulged in it. And that's kind of how I started to like really like find like the artists that I like and like just the rhythm of music. And like around like 8 or 9 years old, like that's when like I started to like get my own music in terms of like, okay, like I would go to the stores with him and he would get me CDs, you feel me, or stuff that I wanted, you know what I mean? And like I just became a fan of it. And like during like the new the No Limit Cash Money era, like when they like hit the scene, I became a big like fan, you know what I'm saying? Surprisingly enough, you know, them being from the South and I'm on the West Coast.
Yeah.
And I was a huge, the first CD that I fell in love with as far as hip hop was Bow Down by Westside Connection.
Damn.
But the first album that I like got on my own that I asked my dad to buy was The Last Dime by Master P. And so that was like that was 1998, so 7 years old, or 6 years old. And that's when I like wanted to be like, damn, I want to rap. Like I started to see like the glitz and the glamour as a kid, like the No Limit chain, and, like the tank and all that.
Tank.
Just like
Ice Age.
Yeah.
The Ice Age, the hip hop Ice Age. Yeah.
So yeah, I was living in these apartments in Norwalk, and me and my boy Demontre, that's like my best friend. Like we started recording over this boombox, like just spitting over instrumentals and shit like that. Like when like singles would drop, it would come with like it would be a disc. It would come with the instrumental, the explicit version, and the radio version, and the acapella. Yeah. And we were just rapping over that, and so that's how I kind of found my footing. And then like my sister's boyfriend, like he was a huge hip hop head, and he put me on like the New York side of rap, like the Rough Riders, DMX, Nas, Jay-Z, and shit like that. So that shit was just always around me as a kid, and I wanted to do it myself. And he helped me pen my first verse, and from there I just fell in love with it, and I just kept going. You feel me?
That's a good in-depth look at it, because we can't really pinpoint your style exactly.
Yeah.
So the fact is that you've actually been well versed into both coasts per se.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like I always wanted it. I wanted to be authentic. You know what I mean? I never, like, you know how motherfuckers start rapping? Like, I didn't start rapping. I never like to use that term. Like, I just was doing it. You feel me? I was doing it, like you said, like, for the love of the game. Like, you know what I mean? I wasn't doing it to be cool. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people are doing now. Like, I didn't start rapping at fucking 19 and shit. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing that shit since I was 9 years old.
Yeah. Damn, that's crazy.
It's a crazy love within yourself to actually, like, it's something. In my instance, it started with poetry. Yeah. But then it's like it was within you nonetheless at a young age.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think for me it was like Eminem, like that. Yeah. Once I realized, I was like, oh, how is that working? Like his rhymes, I'm like, does that works?
Yeah.
And then that was like him and Master Ace too, because Master Ace makes it so he makes it seem easy.
Yeah, effortless.
Yeah, very like
Eminem's
effortless.
my favorite rapper of all time.
Yeah. It's crazy. But that's pretty cool because, you like I was mentioning in the intro, you have the West Coast traditional sound. Mm-hmm. Like that's never really went away. But you also have like a new sound that keeps it banging, which is dope.
I wanted to sound modern too without sounding dated.
Yeah. And you're able to accomplish that. Sure. What's crazy is like K-17.
Yeah.
I mean, the Face Off cover album with Jeffrey Dahmer, a serial killer. Yeah. But it's crazy because like even that alone, just the cover alone, there's like so many deeper themes there that you could go into, like just the mind of a serial killer, nature versus nurture, and just all those kind of themes. But also at the same time, as a spitter, it's like don't fuck with me, like I'm a killer.
And then also, it's like I have like super mental health issues. Mm-hmm. So like I didn't recognize that until I got older, but like that's where all of that dark shit comes from. You know what I'm saying? Like again, that's me being authentic too. That was a way for me to express myself, you know what I'm saying, without actually going out and doing something to somebody. Yeah. Like so that's where I came up with that as far as like K-17. I named it K-17 because I think that Jeffrey Dahmer had 17 victims, if I'm not mistaken, documented. And so I named it K-17 and I put 17 tracks on the album. So that was just kind of me just, trying to come up with a dope-ass concept of, like, mentally drained and going through some shit at 19 years old, and I'm going to pen this shit in the most horrific way that I can possible. So that's how I came up with K-17.
It's the healthiest projection you can do versus the actual thing.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it starts off with, like, a therapy session.
Right? It's me in therapy,
Yeah, that's pretty dope. But then, like, also at the same time, it's interesting, like, kind of looking back at it retrospectively, like, just seeing the arc of like where you're at now and like where you came from, like that's also cool too.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, and then I've heard that I think one of the first like EP mixtapes, I think was like Suicide with No Note.
Suicide with No Note.
Yeah, even that title right there is like crazy. So it makes you interested, like what's going on?
Yeah, I dropped that in high school. I was 17, 2009. I dropped that on Dat Piff. Hell yeah. So you've been doing your Googles for sure, because a lot of people don't know about that one. But Suicide with No Note was a real dope mixtape that I ended up putting out, and I did all that in my room and shit. Came up with the cover on my own. I did all that shit while I was in high school. Yeah.
That's
from the actual inside projects to the outside, I wanted to at least talk about your out of state concert series.
What you talking about?
When you went out of state to do you ever do out of state concerts?
I do a lot. Yeah, I was doing all of that shit.
The most recent one, I think, the Midwest. If I don't.
I did Michigan with Chuuwee. Yeah, hell yeah. It's like 9 hours from Detroit. I was in Republic. Yep. Yeah. I performed all over the U.S. It's only like 3 or 4 states I haven't touched.
Was that the most recent one though?
Yeah.
How was that?
That shit was real dope. I was actually surprised at the reception that we got and shit like that, because I'm like, I ain't never been to Republic, Michigan. Like that shit is I've been to Detroit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, fuck, it's people out here that fuck with me. That's dope. You know what I mean? It's an instant reminder, because sometimes you'll be at the crib and like a nigga get discouraged, like, fuck, man, shit ain't really cracking like I wanted to. But then you get to cities like that, cities I ain't never heard of, and there's a gang of motherfuckers out there that fuck with my shit. So like, I be feeling really grateful about shit like that.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, dude. I mean, I've seen you like, rub shoulders around some like pretty notable people, like MCs. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like I think I saw a video thing on your IG where was it Conway giving you dap?
Oh yeah. Like, Conway really fucks with my shit. Hell yeah. That's tight, because like Conway right now is one of my favorite rappers, and I wasn't privy to like, because a lot of times like you don't know that somebody is bumping your shit. They may never post it. You know what I'm saying? And then like that was just one of many times that I connected with Con, but I had met him like 2 or 3 years ago, and like he was giving me my props and shit like that. So
that's pretty crazy. Yeah. From K17, was it after that where like you started to get more recognition?
In terms of like the underground scene, because that's when Brotha Lynch had discovered me after I dropped that project.
Which is crazy. Like, was that through like Twitter? Is that how you
that was through Twitter? Yeah. So that's like a bunch of fans was like, I had already followed him and everything like that on Twitter, and like a bunch of fans was like saying, you need to fuck with Trizz. Trizz is dope. He's fire. And I had dropped this video called 666, and he quoted it, or he like responded to it like, yo, this is fire. You know what I mean? I was like, oh shit, that's dope.
At a young age, that's what's crazy is like, there's like the vivid like imagery, the painting, all of that stuff. Like it hits crazy at a young age.
And even from the one moment where, as you mentioned, where you're feeling your valley of like motivation. Yeah. And it's stuff like that to like, make a peak again and for you to be on fire for it. Right.
Yeah, on the real. And so like he ended up hitting me up, and he asked me if I wanted to do shows with him. And I was kind of like, I was skeptical only because his account wasn't verified. Yeah. And I was like, is this really Lynch? But nigga, he fucking like, on the real. Like, so he gave me his number, and I called him. And when I called him, he picked up, and it was his voice. I was like, oh shit, this is really him. So shit, like he told me, he was like, I got a show in May. This had to be like February of 2012. He like, I got a show in May. You want to come do it with me? He was like, I just want you to come perform with me. I'm like, hell yeah. He was like, you can hype. He was like, you could hype for me, and I'll let you perform. I'm like, for sure, bro. Whatever the fuck I gotta do to get the fuck out of the inland to go, I was with it. So then time goes on, like a couple, like maybe like a month goes by, and he hits me. He's like, I actually got a show coming up in Arizona. It's like next week. Can you come? I'm like, shit, yeah, I can come, but I didn't know how I was getting there. I was like, yeah, I can get there. So then shit, I jumped on the Greyhound, nigga, with a phone, nigga, probably like $20 in my pocket. I had no bread. I didn't know where I was staying. I didn't give a fuck. I was like, I'll figure that shit out. I get out there, and I was like, man, I hope when I get here, it's not no like me having to figure out how I'm getting to the show and all of this type of shit. Bro, when I landed, he had a driver pick me up. I had a hotel. He took me to get barbecue. Like, he implemented me into the family immediately. Damn. And then from there, that shit just took the fuck off.
For all those that are listening, Trizz recently dropped a new album as well. I'm sorry.
It's called
Cavi and Cursive.
Cavi and Cursive.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, I was getting tongue-tied right there. Cavi and Cursive. Yeah. Man, check out the project. He's selling it. He's independent, so you have to buy the album through him, which we'll put some of the links in the description. Yeah. But it's through Bandcamp and then also through
BelowSystemRecords.com.
Yeah. So definitely check that out. So yeah, man, that's pretty sick. I mean, I think I read also on the tour, Tech Nine was on the tour. Did you?
Yeah, that was the first tour that I did, which is amazing. After we did that show, and matter of fact, the show ended up not happening because somebody got stabbed.
Damn.
It was supposed to be Brotha Lynch and Twisted Insane, and then while Twisted Insane was performing, I guess somebody ended up getting stabbed or something, and the show ended up getting canceled. So we didn't perform, but we ended up still enjoying the night, going to get food and stuff like that. And then after that, when we he took me back to the crib, and he told me that like he was working on his album, Manable Lecter, and he was like, you know, we finna go on tour. Do you want to come? I'm like, hell, fucking yeah. Like what?
Yeah. Look at those opportunities, bro. That's what's up.
I was like, bro, perfect. I was like, as long as I got a place to stay and I got something to eat. He was like, oh, you get food every day. You gonna get food every day, and you gonna be on a tour bus, so you good. I was like, that's all I need. As long as I can survive, I ain't gonna get paid. That's cool. I'm building. You know what I mean? I'm trying to, you know, get my foot in the door. So yeah, I went on that tour, and the rest was history.
Paying the dues to a certain respect.
Yeah, paying the dues. I just paying my dues. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. So from all that, also too, is this around the time when you also met Chuuwee?
Okay, so I met. Okay, so while I am dealing with Lynch in 2012, I go up to Sacramento, and we working on Manable Lecter.
Okay.
And during the time that I was working on that album with him, they was telling me about somebody named Chuuwee, because Chuuwee is from Sacramento too. Yeah. And they showed me a video. They showed me one of his videos. It's called Postmortem. And I was like, damn, this nigga is dope as fuck. I reached out to him on Twitter, and Chuuwee is a fucking legend too. That nigga was killing it before I started doing my thing. He was already around the globe and shit. He was signed to Amalgam Digital with Max B and shit. Like, he was already doing his thing. Yeah. So I had hit him up, and I was like, yo, I'm up in Sac. I'm up here working on Brotha Lynch album and shit like that. And they telling me about you. I want to get down with you. He's like, for sure. You know what I mean? And just out of his respect for Lynch too, him, like, Lynch being a Sac legend, he's like, oh, he got to be a reputable. Yeah. So he was like, for sure, I fuck with you. I sent him a record. He sent it back the same fucking day. The same day I sent the record, he sent the record back, and I put it out the same day. Like, me and Chewy's work ethic is like this. You know?
Yeah. So would that be one of the telltale signs that kind of like motivated you to like see about a duo? Did that kind of plant the seeds a little bit?
Yeah. So like that was basically like the nucleus. The duo aspect didn't come until I found out that he lived in Southern California. He didn't even live in Sac. He's from there, born and raised, but he was living down here in San Diego. And so he invited me out to his crib. I brought a gang of weed with me, and we sat down and we just was listening to beats and just writing music together. Like, we was just writing and just getting to know each other. And then he would come down. When he first came down to the IE, me, him, and my boy Ace Beats got in the studio, and we started recording. We recorded Stone, By My Lonesome, and Fucking Great. And then from them 3 joints, he was like, bro, let's do a project together. He was going through some label shit, trying to get off his label. So he was like, I don't give a fuck what they talking about. I'm just in limbo right now. So fuck it, I ain't got shit else going. So that's how we started doing America's Most Blunted. And that was 2013. Yeah.
Fucking Great's a tight joint too, bro.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, dude, that whole saga, like that 1, 2, 3, back to back to back, it's crazy. That's a crazy run. And so something.
That's my biggest fan base right there. Like, fucking America's Most Blunted alone pays the bills. Like, that's my classic album. That shit should be gold by the time I fucking turn 35.
And it's a dope homage to like Ice Cube. I mean,
America,
and even maybe Pac and Snoop, maybe with their track.
Yeah, even the Mad Villain track.
Yeah,
I'm not
America's
mistaken.
Most Blunted,
It's a little seeds to that too. It's one of the few trilogies, even in movies and music, that actually work. Some trilogies are like, you guys should kill this off.
Yeah,
but that was dope, man. It's the chemistry between you two is it's very apparent. Yeah. And from the first album to part 3, it's like, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't even know that America's Most Blunted was gonna do what it did. Like, we dropped America's Most Blunted at the end of the blog era. You know, like Two Dope Boys, Not Right, and all of that shit. And when we dropped the album, we didn't know what to expect, but as soon as we dropped it, 2 Dope Boys had posted it, and that was the first time 2 Dope Boys had ever said anything about Trizz. So I was like, yo, this is hard. And like, if you remember when Tyler, the Creator, dropped Bastard, and at the beginning, he's like, yo, fuck 2 Dope Boys, fuck Not Right, and all that. That just goes to show you how like valuable their word was about something being dope. So like, when they mentioned our album, I was like, oh shit, we got something. You know what I'm saying? That shit was tight.
What about out of those projects? Would any tracks that you're most proud of? Out of
Stoned and Nothing.
We highlighted that one.
Stoned and Nothing at All. Nothing at All. I'm super proud of, because that's my biggest song to date. Like, that does 20,000 streams just on Spotify alone a week. Yeah. So like, I'm so proud of that record, because again, that was just an honest record. I was just talking about bitches who think that they the shit and then they fall off. That's all I was talking about. I was just being honest. You know what I'm saying? That shit ended up coming out crazy. And
I also like location.
I like location. Yeah. Oh, May I is another big one that we did. Again, fucking great. Like, so those are the notable tracks that I'm like really, really proud of.
I was gonna mention out of there. Also, too, the Mario Party one was pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, Mario Party.
That was a pretty crazy one. We're both like gamers, so like that one automatically kind of stood out.
Yeah, and that's like about that. That's like came about like being off shrooms. You feel me?
Yeah.
And it's like the mushrooms and Mario like relating it to shrooms,
exactly.
You know?
And the ghost like smoky. Like I just kind of picture that.
Yeah. So like having the Mario Party just mean being off shrooms.
Like, that's the thing too. A lot of the tracks made sense. Like it all kind of went to the theme.
Yeah.
Or you guys did like like a play on the theme, like a word play on it.
Yeah.
What's crazy though is like about you is like even though you have this like laid back style, it's like don't get it twisted though. There's some technicality going on too. So that's pretty dope as well. Because I was listening to it, and I was like, oh, dude, that, like there's like double rhyming you're doing sometimes, which is crazy.
And that was around the time I was smoking big ass weed, like that, like fucking 2012 to like 2017, 18. Like I was a fucking pothead. Like even up until like 2021. Like me and that fool done won the fucking smoking competitions and everything. Like I'm talking about big lungs. Like, I don't smoke weed no more, but that shit motivated a lot of the music.
Yeah. You can tell, man. You can tell it's like just I don't know the chemistry with that, the theme, the music. It was dope. Who's responsible with producing the beats? Is it a mixture of people?
The first one was Ace Beats.
Okay,
he did the whole.
Is
album.
he like your main guy?
That's like my main. Him and Mike Summers now are my main producers that I trust and. Those are the only people that I go to. And then now my boy Python P out of LA. Shout out to him.
Okay, I see.
I let like producers send me beats, but like I kind of fell off that wave. Like I don't mind nobody sending me no beats, but like I kind of go to my guys. You know what I mean? Like they already know me. You know what I mean? Yeah, we've already built that repertoire.
You know, I like how like I think it was Mike Summers. I think he was talking about on the project was it Summer Break? Was it Summer Break where I think you guys kind of more collabed about what you really wanted the sound to be like?
Exactly. So like we dropped we dropped Summer Break to that's the prequel to Baseline Cavi.
Yeah. Okay.
It was like the warm up. It's like and those songs are on the album. So it's like what we wanted to do was like taste this.
Yeah.
How it tastes.
That's smart too.
And
that's
then
really
we bring
smart.
out the full course. Yeah. That's the appetizer. You know.
Inspirations as far as like MCs or who's your inspirations like when it comes to that?
Snoop Dogg, Tupac, Eminem, Corrupt and Daz, the East Siders, Master P, Lil Wayne, Juvenile,
DJ Quick
like a motherfucker. That's my favorite producer.
That's what I was like I know you mentioned that.
I be wearing his CDs out. Rhythmalism is my favorite album from him.
Definitely a West Coast legend who was kind of like I wasn't really like I want to say talked about a whole lot. When
he wasn't a Dre.
Right.
He was like he was the underdog to Dre.
Right.
Like you know what I mean? A lot of people don't know he did production on All Eyes on Me.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
50 Cent's project too.
Yeah, hell yeah.
He's on there too.
Quick, he did some shit for Bruno Mars. Like he be in the mix.
And he doesn't sometimes he doesn't even ask for credit on it.
He's so low key with all that stuff. He even does concerts at the Garden Amphitheater. And you never expect people like DJ Quick to be there, but he's there performing the hell out of his stuff.
I got a dope ass story from the Garden Amphitheater. Okay, so now that we talking about it, so I went to the Garden Amp to go see Quick. I was by myself. I just went. But I'm really cool with my boy Droops, who he's like he runs the hip hop OC circuit.
Oh yeah, I think he's probably the main host probably.
Yeah, like he throws any big show that comes through the OC, he's throwing it.
Yeah, okay.
So I went through there. So I'm always able to go backstage and shit because like I perform there a lot, and I'm backstage or whatever, and I'm chopping it up with somebody, and we were talking or whatever, and one of the guys that I was talking to had brought it because there's a poster in there of a show that I had did.
Yeah.
And so Quick overheard our conversation, and then he was like, "Oh, you rap?" I'm like, "Yeah," you know what I mean? So we start chopping it up, and he's faded and I'm faded, and like shit, he poured me some champagne and shit, like, and we start kicking it and drinking and shit. Wow. He was like, "Shit, let's take a picture," and we took a picture and shit. Like dope. It was a cool night. I ended up kicking it with Quick for like a cool little 2 hours. That shit was tight.
That was dope. The Garden Amphitheater is like the who's who has like been there as far as like underground hip hop. Like
we've been going there to watch some shows lately.
We saw the Jizza perform there, and then Master Ace had not on the main stage.
Yeah, Master Ace was on the side.
He was on the side. And what really bugged me out was like they'll have two shows on at the same time.
Yeah.
And they had like the total opposite type of show at the front. They had like this Dead Kennedys rock band tribute.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is this? I thought I had the dates all screwed up.
Yeah.
He's like, no, Master Ace is back there. I'm like, cool, whatever. It's like I like the vibe back there anyway.
They have the locker room. And then they have the main stage.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I did. I've done the main stage and I've done the locker room too.
Yeah.
Yeah, both are dope. Yeah, DJ Quick's big inspiration for me. I mean, I based my alias MC name Nesquick off of
that's
DJ
hard.
Quick. Yeah, so I based it off of him.
Yeah, those are my. And then as far as going back to inspirations, other than hip hop, like I'm a huge Nirvana fan, huge Metallica fan, fucking Rage Against the Machine. I like a lot of rock and roll too. Like,
you produced. I mean, I heard stories that you produced and you went by like Young Trizz.
No, I never made beats.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I don't like making beats.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's hella tedious, and
super.
I got ADHD. I don't have time for that shit.
Dude, it's because what I'll mainly do is I'll just do verses and all that and rap. But it's like when it came to making beats, because Isaiah always gives me shit for it. He's like, "Why don't you ever make beats? Why don't you ever make beats?"
Like, I like all that shit too. I'll mess around.
I'm on the same vibe where it's like, I get impatient. I get impatient with that. Where I could create something lyrically, that doesn't really translate well to beats.
Yeah,
because it's just it's a very tedious process and it takes a lot of patience.
Yeah. And so what I do is if you consider me a co-producer, like I come up with melodies and I record them on my phone and I send them to my producer.
Yeah. At least get the framework right.
Like my song Thanos, I came up with that melody. A couple of my other joints, I came up with the melodies of the song, and I'll send them to them and then they'll redo them.
That's pretty hard. Yeah. That's pretty dope. Yeah, I think one of the things I picked up from your style and stuff is like ad libs. You know, that's also a big part. Like, it's like it's pretty dope because nowadays people kind of look for the ad libs as well as a part of the whole piece of it. So like, you know, sometimes that's not really easy to do. I sometimes struggle with trying to do ad libs. I'm like, what the hell am I gonna say? Basically
the way I do my ad libs, and this you could probably take from this too. I just react to what I'm saying. So when I'm listening and I'm going back, I always nail my ad libs on the first run. You feel me? Like I play the track.
You have a couple of staples, like staple ones.
Like everybody know me for that one.
Or straight up.
Like straight up. Yeah. And then it's basically I'm listening to myself and I'm like, oh yeah, that nigga gassing. That I'm listening to it as a person that's like listening to the song, and I just react to it. That's the way I do my ad libs.
That's pretty dope. Yeah, that's fire. You know, I was gonna say for Baseline Cavi, like that was dope because that whole like you working with one producer on it, like getting that whole like cohesive sound is sick, man.
Yeah, and Mike Summers that nigga's a legend too. He's an underdog too. Like he even produced for Kendrick, Snoop Dogg. He did Tech Nine's whole discography. Fucking Eminem, like no.
Oh, see, I didn't know all that. I didn't know
because he went by 7 at first. And then when he left Strange Music, he changed his name. He was just going by his birth name, Mike Summers.
Oh, okay.
Feel me? Michael Summers. So like, he immediately like picked up on like the way I do my shit. You know what I'm saying? And I had got on one of his beats on the Manable Lecter album, but that was 10 years ago. Me and him hooked up in 2022, 9 years later, through Dave Weiner. Dave Weiner had hit me up and was like, yo, 7 want to get down with you. I'm like, yo, what? I was like, hell fucking yeah. Like, tell him to send a pack. I'm going to get started right now. As soon as he sent the pack through, I start writing. Because I wanted him to know how serious I was and how I appreciated his work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So right after that, I sent him a couple joints back. He's like, yo, what about an album? I'm like, you ain't said nothing but a word. Like, just send him through. Straight up, and I got that shit done.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that, like, what attracted you to this? I mean, obviously, you hear his sound, it's like, damn, dude.
It's so like, it's so cinematic. Like, if you go back and you listen to his Tech Nine records and you listen to the shit he did with Lynch when Lynch was over there, Ritz album, a lot of the albums over there are strange. It's so cohesive. Like he's a perfectionist.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He's a mad scientist. Me, I'm a semi-perfectionist, but once I lay that shit, nigga, that's what it is because I want you to catch me in the vibe that I'm already at. So I rarely go back and change anything.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah,
that's super dope. So guys, Trizz dropped an album recently. We're discussing, his discography, but man, check out his latest shit.
Yeah.
That's Cavi and Cursive.
Yeah.
You got to get it directly through him.
Yeah.
Of course, you got to support your artists, but man, we fuck with it. It's sick.
Absolutely.
The whole album. You can't even skip anything, dude.
Thank you.
Growing up in the because Isaiah and myself, we had our own. It was a crazy like battle scene in high school.
Yeah.
Did you have something like that similar to what in your upbringing with like?
Like in high school, like I would go to different high schools and shut niggas down, like, and then they're like, it was like this thing one time where like Los Osos and Edawanda was going back and forth dissing each other on MySpace. Yeah. And so like making like
this.
that was our thing. Like what
in
between classes, one of the homies would be at the table and we all knew what table to go to, and again we would just be spitting and the homies would be capturing it on camera. Like it's videos on YouTube of me at Edawanda in 2006, 14 years old in Cyphers. I come from that. So like one time I had when I in 2009 I had went to Los Osos. I graduated from Osos, but in between that time I was in a continuation school to get my grades up. So I get over there and them niggas is doing the same thing. So I'm like, damn, now I'm at Osos, right? So like a nigga had called me out to battle or whatever. I was like, nope, bet. Nigga, like right when I get off of school, I'm coming up there. So nigga, I get out of school, I jump in my car, I drive to fucking Edawanda, and everybody had already knew about it. So when I pulled up, I parked right in the front. I'm start walking up into the school, and niggas already knew what time it was, and dudes start coming. As soon as I seen him, I just start rapping, and it built the crowd. And one of the security guards that I was really cool with, she was like, "What are you coming up here to do? You coming up here to fight?" I'm like, "No, I'm coming up here to battle. I got a battle." She was like, "Oh, okay." So some business she got behind it and everything. So yeah, I come from the battle scene too. I was battling like a motherfucker. I was in niggas.
Was it a mixture of like stuff that you would have prepared to diss, or was it a lot of
that
it
was
off
a
the
freestyle.
top? That's dope.
That one was off the top.
Crazy.
Sometimes it would be shit I wrote, but that one was off the top because it was spontaneous because I had just heard that the nigga wanted to battle me, so I didn't have time to go home and prepare. So I just went up there and just started rapping.
That's the stuff that's on the forefront with me. I've always enjoyed.
We kick freestyles after the podcast. Like every other 5 episodes, we'll kick a freestyle.
We'll go off the top, all of us, and it's like it's super important for us to be like, rapping's great, producing's great, but we still feel like freestyling's a part of the hip hop, culture, along with like breakdance and stuff like that, and like. I really like the fact that you have that.
Yeah, definitely.
You got it's like you got traded to the other side.
I went to the other team and shit. Yeah, like y'all forgot. Y'all forgot who I am. On the real.
You know what's also pretty interesting was I think there was a track you did. Kind of like defending James Harden.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
you're a big Houston fan.
Houston Rockets it's called everybody's target.
Yeah, and everybody was, there was a time when everybody was going hard on
Harden. Because I'm a Houston Rockets fan.
Right.
So, like, I wasn't going for it.
But it was pretty dope because nobody was really defending him, and here you are like, you know what, I do this. Let me just put
and I was laying out stats. I was doing the whole shit. I put on my Harden jersey. I shot the video up in Fontana at the park, nigga, just playing basketball and shit. Yeah, Edgar shot that shit.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yo, he does everything, man. He produces, writes, directing.
Hell yeah.
Edgar Van Peebles over there. Damn.
Real.
It's pretty dope. So like now going down to like, your most recent project, Cavi and Cursive, what inspired you this time around with doing like kind of this? Is it like a playoff of or a sequel off of
sequel
Baseline?
to Baseline Cavi.
Okay.
So basically, it was already in our head that we was gonna do another album, but we didn't want to call it Baseline Cavi 2.
Yeah.
So we was trying to come up with a name and shit, and it's like this album is a little bit more elegant, a little bit more the sound is a little bit more elevated. So it's just elegant dope. So we called it Cavi and cursive writing is more elegant than regular writing. You know what I'm saying? So and Cavi is fucking dope. It's crack.
I had to look it up because it went over my head at first. But then
Cavi is crack. You know what I'm saying? So basically, what we're saying is that the music on it is dope and it's elegant dope. Cavi and cursive. That's just how we came up with it.
Yeah, it's a dope theme too.
Yeah.
Like when you dig into that. Automatically I thought it was dope when you were spitting. I think you kind of made it like a hook. You know, what does that sound like? And you were like, it sounds like it's coming out the Alpine or something.
Oh yeah, Alpine.
Yeah. That was pretty like that was just such a unique way to describe it. Yeah. But it was dope. It was
so like Alpine speakers are like top of the line sound
yeah.
system and shit like that, and like. They're really known.
Oh, see, that's what it was. Oh, see, I thought you were talking about mountains.
Slopes.
Like it was like
a
spring
lot of
water
people.
coming
A
out.
lot of people thought that. Yeah,
no,
I'm talking about the sound system. Alpine.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, so like Alpines are really big, like in the like the lowrider scene. You know what I mean? If you got sounds or just even having beat in your car, a lot of people have Alpine, Pioneer. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I was saying. Is like, nigga, my shit is. Like the clarity in my shit is so clean and so crisp, nigga. This shit sound like it's coming out the Alpine. Yeah, that's basically what I was talking about. Yeah. That's exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah, and then what's craziest too is like you also have like, because you have a laid back style, but I've heard you in your discography, like you've been able to have some agility with it too.
There's moments where you can spaz out a little bit.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like Killzone is one of the most like hyped up. Like I was going through a crazy ass time in 2018 when I wrote Killzone, and like that's one of those more up tempo, high energetic tracks that you got to talk about for sure. Yeah,
man. So like, you've been recording some music videos. The music videos are also dope. Is it the same guy that was?
Yeah, Castro, New High
Castro?
Films. Yeah, hell yeah. Who I met through Edgar.
Okay.
Yeah, they grew up together, and I met him through him.
Yeah, I think there was I forgot which track. There was a track where you gave him kind of a shout out, but you're like, yeah, him standing in the back, looking.
Yeah, I always get on Castro. I just did that shit.
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I'm working on Leatherface 3 right now, and he was in the studio with me. What was that, babe? Like 3 nights ago. And I just say his name because he there, and that's the homie. Like he's always with me. I'm like, Castro looking ugly as fuck in the back. Like that's the homie.
I was busting up when I heard that. I was shit. You mentioned Leatherface. That was kind of when I got introduced to your music. Man, that Leatherface 2. I mean, I didn't get to go back yet to listen to Leatherface 1. Yeah, but Leatherface 2, man. To me, that's one of my favorites, even out of your discography. I just felt like it was just so cohesive. Yeah. The sound of it even, I don't even know if it was Halloween time or anything, or was it just... It
was coming up. I dropped that September of 2016, But that's my favorite season, like the fall.
Yeah.
It's like, that's, because like, again, like I got mental health issues, but I also like, I play on that shit. Like I love when it get dark outside. My girl tell you, like I like keeping the lights off. I hate like light. I love like being in the dark. And so like when it's gloomy and it's leaves outside, like that's just like that's my air or my aura. And so Leatherface 2, I really wanted to get super, super dark. So shit, I brought in Bizarre from D12 on that motherfucker. Like he's on the first track. I got my nigga Twisted Insane on that motherfucker. Like I wanted that shit to sound dark as fuck. You know what I'm saying? And that shit came out so dope. That's one of my favorite albums of mine.
Yeah. I was listening through it and I was like, dude, there's not a track that I don't like on this thing. It's all fire.
Yeah.
So so I think one of these days we'll probably cover that because we usually cover albums. Like,
hell yeah.
So we'll cover that one.
Yeah, now I'm working on Leatherface 3. I'm dropping that on Halloween.
Yeah. So sick, dude. I like the fact that you're able to be pretty creative with it, like with your artwork. Like it doesn't just sound like you're just a writer, but you're thinking of like the whole project as a whole. So you're thinking about everything. Yeah. Just from the artwork, from like what's the vibe I'm feeling, like, and you somehow like really communicate that message.
Yeah,
across.
Hell yeah, for sure.
Is it like as far as like coming up with that? Do you actually like legit like plan this all out, like, or is it just something you just feel? And just
whatever I'm feeling, you know what I mean? Like, I never try to force work, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, with the Leatherface shit is like, again, the mental health shit, I'm just like, expressing myself in a way that I couldn't do it like physically, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like that don't fuck with me type shit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Especially on this microphone, you know what I mean? Like, I'm Leatherfacing this shit when it comes to the mic, you know what I mean? Like, I will destroy anything in my path, so don't even bring yourself this way. And so like when I get into that vibe, I'm like, and I'm penning shit down and I'm listening to beats, I want it to sound so horrific that you like, ooh, like it give you the chills, like it's bone chilling. So like when I had got Bizarre on the joint, I start the track off with I'm going to hell. And I got that.
was crazy right from the get. Like,
and it was dope because, like, you know, him being a part of Eminem's camp.
Right.
Like one of my favorite lines from Eminem is "I'm going to hell." So who coming with me? That's why I started it like that because Bizarre's on the song.
Little Easter egg, nice.
Yeah, hell yeah, for sure.
Like, how was it working with Bizarre? Because I mean,
well, he had hit me up. He told me that he was a fan of my shit, and I was like, oh, this is perfect because I'm working on Leatherface.
Yeah.
And then so I was like, you down to get in with me? He like, hell yeah, send the track. He sent that motherfucker back the same week. I was like, God damn,
man.
And like, I grew up on D12 and shit like that, and Purple Pills and all of that shit, like in my band, and like I was so hyped to have him on the track, and I didn't know what the fuck he was finna say. And I already laid my verse down. I laid down the hook and everything. So I just like, just do whatever, bro. You the legend. Like whatever you say on this motherfucker, I'ma fuck with it.
Yeah.
And he gassed that hoe.
Yeah. He did, like, you know, it was reminiscent of the times with Eminem, even like he was still playful like that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You know, it went along with it really well. So that was sick, man.
And then I not to cut you off, but I also did, like I did with Summer Break.
Yeah.
I did a prequel to Leatherface, which was Lost Recordings.
Yeah.
And I got King Gordy on that one. So like King Gordy is a fucking a vet, one of Eminem's favorite rappers, and another Eminem like counterpart. He's even in fucking 8 Mile. He's on that. Yeah, he's in one of the scenes in 8 Mile in the studio when Eminem is fucking Brittany Murphy. Yeah. He's in that scene. But I was super hyped to get him on it because he's super dark and shit. Like and then I got Lynch in the beginning. Like he found this lost recording, and he puts it in. Like, what the fuck was this? And then the EP plays. So like I was like really in my bag on that shit.
What about Leatherface 1? Is there like any highlights that you particularly are proud of out of that one? I haven't got a chance to listen to that yet. So. Yeah,
Leatherface 1 was me like basically getting into the whole Leatherface series. Like I'm a real Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan. And so that's where the Leatherface shit comes from. And it's like, when I put on this mask, I'm a different person. You know what I'm saying? And so that one was a little bit more, it was dark, but it was West Coast dark.
Yeah.
And then like part 2 was supposed to be all the way in it. You know what I mean? So I would say I like Leatherface 2 better, but the highlights of that album for me would be, I can't even say. It's just, I don't even know. I don't know what the fuck I was doing. Well, because
usually they're all pretty much fire.
Yeah, for sure. But that was just me trying to get into the Leatherface back. So it's super West Coast, but it's dark too.
Yeah. That's fire. Recently, I mean, you were. I saw the video you did. Props, man, on that video that you did with 211 and Soul.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot that LA has
a metro station.
Yeah, a metro station. I kind of forgot about.
Well, that was a setting.
Yeah.
So that was just a setup. So they do have metros, but that was a prop.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it looked like we had to.
It looked a lot safer too than the actual LA subway system.
For sure.
That's pretty fire. But like, can you talk a little bit about just making music with those two?
Oh yeah. So 211, me and him have been doing music for like the last 4 years. Me, him, TF, and Bell. We kind of like have like this thing going where all 4 of us do music together. We don't like to call it a group, but it's like a collective.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Black Hippie and shit like that. It's kind of like when they get together, that's who they are.
Yeah.
And like working with him is like real dope because I've been fucking with 211 for like 10 years when he was fucking with or like 10, 15 years when he was fucking with like Jeezy and all of them. And fucking with the whole LA
he's
scene.
pretty nice too. Nice.
And so he sent me the record. And it was a no-brainer because that's my boy. And then I laid the shit. And he's like, yo, I'm about to get Ab-Soul on this. And I'm cool. I'm really cool with Ab-Soul. So that was a no-brainer too. And that's how that shit came together. I heard Ab-Soul's verse. After I laid mine, I was super hyped.
Damn. Yeah. Have you worked with AF? Do you have any projects with?
I don't know who that is.
No? I don't know if another alias he goes by. But I think he was on... Chuuwee 2 with
TF.
TF, I'm sorry.
TF. Oh, you talking about TF? That's like my best friend. Hell yeah. No, I do all. I was just with TF yesterday. The day before yesterday. I'm always with the homie. Like, we got over 10 songs together. He's on he's on like 4 of my albums. I'm on like 4 of his albums. I'm on him and 211 have like this these projects that they do called Scandalous Levels. They got 4 of those. I'm on like every single one of those. Yeah, like TF is my boy. Yeah, we got like 10, 15 songs. We got like 20 if you count the ones we didn't release.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, TF is my nigga.
I had a quick question if it's all right with Isaiah. Our main consensus with when it comes to talking about when we break down these albums, we talk about how it's hard as a male artist to generate a male fan base.
Yeah.
I wanted to see what your perspective is on like what was like the main thing that actually was able to like generate your like fan base in general.
I build one by one, and I live by the 1,000 fan rule. The 1,000 fan rule is that like you can live off of 1,000 fans, right? So like if you got something for sale, t-shirts, whatever the fuck, and 300 of those people, just 300 of the 1,000, buy something from you, you can live off of it. You know what I mean? If I go to like I was doing small towns, I go do shows. I pull up and it's only 5 people coming to see me perform. But what I'm gonna go do? Leave? No, nigga, I'm gonna go perform for these 5 people, and those 5 people are gonna appreciate. Like, damn, he still came out here and gave his all, even though the show wasn't cracking. I remember pulling up to a show in Eureka, California, bro, and nobody came, nigga. It was just the fucking promoter, the security guard, and the promoter's daughter, nigga. And I still performed. And to this day, he is still a fan. Yeah. Like, I need active fans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I built a cult following. Like, there's people that have like they have these fans that's just like, oh nigga, if this nigga don't drop this shit here, I'm on to the next. No, I got fans that's gonna be there forever, and that's what you want to build. You want to build a cult following, people that's gonna follow you forever to the day that they die. That's gonna buy shit that they don't even like. It's just like, just cause it's him, I'm buying it. You know what I mean? So I built my fan base one by one, going to towns that I've never heard of. Like, I was just in Republic. I ain't never heard of that shit in my life. And there was people out there that didn't know who I was. Because me and Chuuwee always do that shit. Like, when we perform together, or if I perform by myself, like, make some noise if you never heard of me before. All right, I'm talking to you. You feel me? Like, I'm trying to convince you. By the time you leave here, you're gonna be like, I'm a Trizz fan. You
yeah, that's good crowd participation right there.
Yeah. Like a lot of artists, like, they try to do that club circuit shit. Like, where they going to go perform at a place where they know people are already gonna be there, and then they put that on Instagram. Like, nigga, I'm not stupid though. Like, nigga, I already know Trizz is gonna be popping in Vegas when you go perform. Nigga, they're not expecting you to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I want you to put your name on the flyer, and I want you to say that tonight is dedicated specifically for that artist, and see how many people show up. That's gonna be the telltale sign of like, oh, okay, who's really fucking with you? Yeah. So many people will be like trying to put on this fake persona, like, oh yeah, I sold out shows, or that shit was cracking and all of that. But nigga, were they there for you, or were they there because they wanted to go to the club that night?
Right.
Let's keep it all the way G.
Yep.
Straight up.
Yeah, that's something that we got a lot of work to do to keep growing. But I noticed that what you were saying, like one by one, you know, keeping that engagement up.
Yeah, it's been times where like I go to a venue, 10 people show up. Next time I go, it's 100 motherfuckers there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, just building in that. Like, I've built a crazy ass fan base in Albuquerque. Feel me? Like,
shout out to New Mexico.
Yeah.
Shout out to New Mexico. I built a crazy ass fan base out there. You feel what I'm saying? Especially when you like, the small towns are the fun ones to do because they don't have shit to do. Yeah. Like LA, New York, Atlanta, those are the hardest markets to perform because they already know. Like, I hate that's a fucked up thing to say. But LA, oh my God, that crowd is so hard to work. It's so hard to work LA. It's so hard because they've seen it all.
They're spoiled.
Like, they've seen it all. So like, and then they're too cool. Like, if they like your shit, like me and her was at a show yesterday, and like, there were the hardcore fans that were in the front, like singing and going along. You're always gonna get the people that really want to be there. But then you got the other 500 motherfuckers that's doing this. It's like, make some noise, and they like, put your hands up. Like, that's LA. That's New York too. Yeah. Like, they don't give a fuck. Yeah. So like, I love doing the butt fuck towns in the middle of nowhere in Timbuktu because them motherfuckers go crazy and they buy up the merch booth.
Yeah. There's been plenty of artists that we've interviewed that say like our major audience with crowd participation and overall attendance is always overseas. Like for the OGs, it's overseas. Yep. But in your instance, like you have it to where you actually know where it's going to be, to where like, Oh yeah, I know fans are gonna come out for sure here, not here, not here. But that's where you're building your one like fan
LA,
at a time.
LA, they gonna show up because I'm from here. Like, you know what I mean? The IE gonna show up because I'm from here. I already know it's gonna be a packed crowd.
Yeah.
But the participation is not always there, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so, and then a lot of the people in the crowd have been to the show so many times that, like, I see a lot of familiar faces. But, like, yeah, going back to what you said, overseas, oh, my God, bro. I toured with the Cunning Linguist in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
We did 30 shows in Europe. And, bro, oh, my God. Nigga, they appreciate hip-hop so much. Bro, Onyx, they moved out there for a little bit just to perform out there, bro. Because, like, they fucking love hip-hop. They literally love the culture. Like, out here, it's one and done. Like, they like the top 10. The radio is only playing Drake, fucking the Migos, and Nicki Minaj and shit. Out there, you gonna turn on the radio, you gonna hear your favorite underground artists out there. Nigga, you gonna hear fucking Tech, you gonna hear me, you gonna hear Conway, you gonna hear all the niggas. Like, out here, they like treat the hip hop like it's throwaway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either that or I think sometimes they want a particular artist and they push that artist on kind of masses.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, out here, it's very controlled of what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, the radio stations, like, even out like LA and shit like that, they don't play LA artists until it's like midnight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Straight up. They play us when everybody go to sleep.
Yeah.
Welcome to Hip Hop After Hours.
Yeah. Niggas is going to sleep and shit. Like, man, shit crazy, dude.
Man. Peace to you, Trizz, on just like sharing, you know, your insights and your thoughts, because I know you're actively out here. Like, you're experiencing it live.
You're in the trenches, man. Yeah. That's a good perspective to have too, because
it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's good. Like, I tell artists all the time, like, man, you gotta go outside. If you're trying to expand your fan base, you gotta go to them shows. Like, I go to, like, when this shit going on, I just want to be there. Like, when it's Grammy weekend, I'm outside. I'm shaking hands, rubbing shoulders, and kissing babies. Nigga, I need to be outside and be in the mix so you see my face. Like, so when I go into a room, I command it. I shake people's hand. I'm very respectful. I do not try to act like I'm a somebody. I try to present myself in a way it's like, oh, man, when I met Trizz, that nigga was cool. That nigga bought me a drink. Like, we was kicking it like he knew me. That's how I try, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how it kind of was for you when you went to Rhyme Fest, isn't it?
Yeah, hell yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You were performing at Rhyme Fest?
Nah, I just was there. I just was hanging out. I just pulled up.
That's dope.
You know what I mean? Just to, if it's a major hip hop event going on, even Rolling Loud, like, if I'm not performing, I'm going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm going. I'm kicking it. So they'll be like, oh yeah, we seen Trizz at Rolling Loud. Shit. Feel me? I just want you to always see my face. Don't forget about me. That's why I drop projects every year.
Yeah. Shit, that's dope.
Yeah, we were writing out your whole discography and we almost ran out of whiteboard. From 2012 to 2024, I was just like, it's like the Wayans brothers of discography. I'm like, damn, there's more? Oh shit, I write some more down. But that's a testament to you generating your fan base, because you just don't, from looking at this, I could just make the general observation that you don't let your last work you don't like rest on your laurels.
No.
You keep going forward.
Oh yeah, I keep going. That's all you can do, man. It's like you keep going. They say, like, the difference between failure and success is you quit is giving up.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. The only difference between somebody who's successful, whatever you want to call success, and failure is giving up. That's it. Yeah. If you stop, obviously you're not gonna go nowhere. I failed 1,000 times, and you want to. That's how it goes.
No. So like coming from like writing perspective, because I mean we've written rhymes before, Mark. I mean, I know it has its challenges, and there's some times where you might be like stuck on a line and you're like, you know, you run it. How do you overcome those challenges? Because you've overcome it.
No, for sure.
So like, you know, how do you overcome those
so like when I get in a funk and I like can't write or whatever, I watch movies, I go places, I talk to people. I get ideas, get shit put in my head.
Yeah.
Play video games like crazy. I play video games like a motherfucker. That shit is like a huge stress reliever. I listen to other projects. I listen to music. You know what I mean? Like that. Like, I try to get just stuff put in my head so that I can get, and I read. I read articles. I try to find different words. I have in my phone like a notepad of new words that I discover. And then I'll just start like putting them in my rhymes. I'll like come up with like verse starters. That's the hardest part about a verse for me is starting it. That's the hardest part, starting and finish it. What I'm gonna say last to end it off, and what I'm gonna say to start it. Those would be the hardest points. But whenever I get writer's block, I just get away from it. I leave the pen and pad.
Something true to that, because like once I find the first bar, I'm like, okay, cool. Then it starts pouring out.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I remember getting a bunch of the. I remember for a long time they used to come out with DVDs like The Art of Rhyme, all these like hip hop related DVDs. Yeah. And I remember Karis once saying one time, he's like, to prepare for writing rhymes is like preparing to eat food. Yeah. You have to salivate for it.
Yeah.
And you have to be hungry for it before you see the meal and do all that. So it's kind of like with actual writing down rhymes and stuff, you have to mentally prepare for it. You have to salivate for it. You just can't go in stomach full, I guess, in a metaphorical sense, and try to start writing. You're not hungry.
Yeah, like it's very hard. It's very hard and easy at the same time for me to write a verse, because that first line always fucks me up. Like, fuck, how do I start this shit off? And then so what I do is I'll find the cadence, and then when I find the cadence, it's like, okay, boom, 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 and then that's how I just go.
Wordsworth mentioned on his style, like he'll think of the flow first, and then kind of then write to it after that. I thought that was different.
Framework of
I
the
usually
actual
kind of
flow.
just go as I go, but I mean, there's some artists. Do you usually kind of think of what you're going to rhyme about first, or do you just go as you go, or how do you?
I rarely like pick a topic for a song. I'll just start writing, and then when I see what came out, I'll be like, oh, that's the name of the song. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or like what I'll do is I'll think of rhymes. I'll be like, book, hook, look, boom, boom, boom. Like Mad Libs. Remember the Mad Lib books?
Yeah.
Where they had the words? I do that shit in reverse. I put all the rhymes first, and then I fill in the blanks and go around it.
Yeah. See that. But like when you're writing, is it like is it in one shot? Will it come out in one sitting, or do you sometimes take maybe a week, or kind of like depending?
If I'm at home,
if
I'm at home, it'll come out just however I see fit. Yeah. But if I'm in the studio, it's gonna come out right then and there. Cause I'm not finna waste nobody's time. I'm not finna waste my time. But if I'm at home and I'm not on no clock and shit like that, I'll just be at the crib. I'll be writing a verse all day. I'll be writing a verse. I'll go downstairs and eat, watch TV, go back upstairs and finish the verse. Yeah. You know what I mean?
What's one of your best like studio sessions that you like?
My best studio session that I ever had was me, Brotha Lynch, Chuuwee, Ace, and Monty Beast, the producer. We were working on Pull Up 2 in 2015. And that's one of my favorite albums too, because every song that I did, they came to the studio. None of the verses was emailed. Yeah. And and Badass was there too. Rest in peace, Badass from the Dog Pound. He was there too. So we were in the studio, and we were working on Pulled Up. The name of the song is called Pulled Up, and Ace was producing the beat. Me and Lynch was writing it, and there's a piano there. So we doing this shit. Me and fucking Lynch lay our verses, and Lynch asked to use the piano. He's like, let me fuck with the piano a little bit, but not pertaining to the song. He was just like, I want to play the piano, but the beat's playing, and he's playing on the piano, and the piano is going with the beat. I'm like, I told that nigga Monty, I'm like, yo, Monty, record this shit. And then Lynch is just playing the piano, and that's what you hear at the end of the song. And I was like, even if he fucks up, keep that shit. Don't fuck up. Don't do nothing. And he played for 2 minutes, just the beat, just the piano over the beat. That shit is so fire. That's my favorite. That's my favorite session of all time, because it was so authentic. Everything was made from scratch. Yeah. That's my favorite session.
When we're talking about writing, there's two artists that are in the various hip hop circles that were notoriously known for apparently not writing anything.
Jay-Z.
Yeah, so Jay-Z and Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
Have you seen that across your way, where people will just come to the studio session and not write anything?
Yeah, my boy Flashy B does that shit. I was just with him yesterday. He threw a crazy ass show. Yeah. He'll go in the studio and he'll be listening to the beat, and I'll be over there writing and shit. And he'll be like, all right, come on, I'm ready to go. I'll be like, ain't that a bitch? And he'll just go up there and just start spitting. He'll be like, oh, stop it, go back, and then he'll go over it, but he won't write notes. He won't write it down.
Did you ever pick his brain about how he does that? Or
I've asked him a gang of times. He just don't like write. He don't like writing.
Yeah,
that's why
he'd rather just go in there and just record. And me, I can't do. I can do it, but I can't do it. And I say that because I have severe ADHD, and the attention span of my attention span is very, very short. And so like I'll be thinking of a bar, and then I'll start having a conversation with my lady, and then I forgot what the fuck I was thinking about. So I can't do that. Like,
I get that.
Like, it's motherfuckers like that could do what we was just talking about and start having a full blown conversation, and then come back to the fucking mic and remember the last 8 bars that was in their head. Yeah. I cannot do that.
I think Biggie was also
Biggie did that shit too.
Yeah, that's pretty fun.
Yeah, I can't do that.
I think it all sums up to like next level genius.
Yeah,
because I cannot. That's never factored into me. I'm very like to the point. I'm mad logical about everything, and I'm just like I can't put those two together of like an actual like a memorized verse or anything not being written down.
Yeah,
but
and then like you gotta think, we only use 10% of our brain.
Right.
Like, for somebody to come up with as many words as it is in a fucking 16-bar verse and not write that shit down and remember it in sequence and rhythm,
and have
it's
bars.
fucking amazing.
and have it be dope.
That would be so fucking dope.
On top of that, this shit was fire.
So
yeah,
guys,
I can honestly admit that I'm not very good at doing that.
Yeah. So guys, we're talking with Trizz, and he just put it out an album, Cavi and Cursive.
Yeah.
You guys got to check it out, get it through him. You got to buy the album directly to him, support your artists. Man, shit is fire. Every track is insane. It's dope. It's definitely Cali riddled with all that sound in there too.
Super West Coast.
But at the same time, it's like a new sound and a new energy, which is also fire. So I mean, talking about like today, what's going on? What are your thoughts about this whole thing that's going on between like Drake and Kendrick? Like, what are your thoughts about
that shit is super entertaining and shit.
Yeah.
I'm not really into the beef shit because I take that shit very seriously.
Yeah.
But I think that shit is good. It's good for hip hop. It's bringing it back to its roots. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad nobody getting hurt behind it because, in where I come from, and the way that I get down, and the way that my homies get down, and even in the underground, a lot of the people in the underground, we see each other.
Yeah.
Mainstream motherfuckers, they got so much money that they'll never see each other. They got security guards and shit, so they can say certain shit. It's no way in hell that you gonna tell me on the track you're not gonna say nothing about my kids or my
yeah, it
girl,
got a little messy.
My mom
there.
talking about I do this, that, and the third, and I'm not gonna see you at a club next week. You feel what I'm saying? So like, they have a little bit more freedom to do that type of shit. I wouldn't do that to nobody either. Like there's consequences that come with your actions.
Right. Yeah.
So like I do think it's tight and it's fun and shit. And I think Kendrick is whooping his ass, but like I'm not into the beef shit.
What would be your advice to Drake as far as like coming back out of this? Because I feel like I don't even know what I would do. You're in this position now.
Nah, he just got to take his L. You don't got to lay down and die, but you got to take your L. We win some, we lose some. Nigga, Kobe didn't win every championship. You know what I'm saying? Right. He didn't win every game. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But like, stay in that studio. I think he should leave it alone. The best thing for him to do is what I would do. Drake has the women.
Right.
If you got women on your side, you won. Tupac said that a long time ago, nigga. He said, don't make music for these niggas. Make music for these bitches because the niggas like what the bitches like. Yeah. Feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So Drake is already winning in that aspect. What I would have did if I was Drake, I'd have been like, all right, bet, I'm finna drop an album. I'd have just dropped the album because women they love that nigga. That nigga can fart on an album, nigga. That shit's going double platinum. Yeah. Straight up. Yeah. That's how Drake can get the fuck up out of this. Drop a fucking album, fool, and don't say nothing about Kendrick.
and not focus on
just focus on what you do.
Music,
you feel what I'm saying? Yeah. You got the club. He got the club like this. Like, nigga, anything Drake drop, triple platinum. You know what I'm saying? So he ain't. I would just say, just accept it. If he was to come out and just be like, man, shout out to Kendrick, that nigga, he spanked me. Feel me? I'm gonna ride this. I'm gonna take this shit on the chin. But acting like you don't care and acting like you didn't lose, it's not good look. Yeah. It's not a good look. Yeah. But can't nobody say nothing bad about you if you be like, yeah, okay, I lost. And I got 10 Bentleys in the driveway, fool. What are you talking about? Yeah. That's how I would take it. Yeah. That's how I respond.
What about, I mean, I would think you would probably say the same thing for J. Cole as well.
Yeah.
Huh? Probably say
J. Cole was smart.
Yeah.
J. Cole was like, okay, this shit is getting too serious.
Right.
And that nigga probably got some demons in his closet he don't want brought up. And because that's what Kendrick was doing, which it's the art of war. You can't judge nobody off how they react when you slap them in the face. If you slap somebody, they pull out a gun and shoot you. That's how he reacted. Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of the shit that Kendrick was saying about him being a pedophile and then Drake coming back talking about he abused his girl and shit like that, I felt like J. Cole took the smart way and was like, I don't want anything to do with that. I thought this was hip hop. You niggas is getting personal.
Yeah.
It's like they're on the high ground and J. Cole's like, man, looking up
what?
hills like, nah, you guys have fun.
I don't want none of that.
Let me know when y'all done.
Yeah, that's what I would have did, because like everybody in this room, all of us, we got demons. It's like we don't want nobody to bring some of this shit up. You know what I'm saying? Like some shit that nigga Drake probably was like, damn, I didn't even know that nigga knew that.
Especially Kendrick too, coming from that dude.
Yeah, on the real. I never knew. I don't believe it, and I don't know. Yeah. I never heard anything about Kendrick abusing his wife. So when I heard that, I'm like, Kendrick don't even look like he would beat his wife. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people don't look like serial killers, so who knows? But you know.
But yeah, and then what are your thoughts about him doing the Super Bowl? Like, you know,
I think that shit is amazing. Yeah. I think niggas need to shut the fuck up. Because it's just like, people like, oh yeah, that's unfair to Wayne. But nigga, the Super Bowl has been in New Orleans so many times. Y'all never said nothing before.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Y'all didn't say nothing before. But it's because it's Kendrick and it's the West Coast. Yeah. And like the West Coast has been down here for the last 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, we still have been over here minding our business. Y'all still come to our clubs. Y'all still fuck our bitches. Y'all still come over here and get y'all looks and shit in LA and Hollywood, and we allow that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Y'all been putting us on the back burner for years, but finally, a nigga rise from the top and smoke the biggest artist in the game, and he's about to perform on the biggest stage. Niggas hate that shit. Yeah, they do not want to see that.
The iron's hot. The iron's hot, and everyone has something to say about it.
And then he got the album tucked away too. That's coming out. That's loading.
On the real. And it's actually Kendrick is for the culture. He's for hip hop. You feel me? So it's like they like
even bigger.
They want mainstream shit there. It's like, what the fuck? We don't want a hip hoppity nigga at the fucking Super Bowl. They don't want that shit. And he from the West Coast. They don't want that shit.
That's gonna be crazy though.
I've always had this saying that I say through the various episodes is like, I've always wanted hip hop to be full circle again. And I think that this is kind of like, this is the genesis of that resurgence.
Oh yeah, it's happening.
Like the best rapper in the game now is like real lyrical.
Yeah, on the real. Yeah.
It's pretty fire.
That's fire.
So everybody, we're talking with Trizz. He put out an album, Cavi and Cursive. You guys got to check it out now. You know, it's direct, so you gotta go through his Bandcamp, go through his IG, or through Below Systems. And I think, can you talk a little bit about that, because there's two different like options there, right?
Yeah. Okay. So there's an option on Below System, which is the higher tier, and if you buy it, it's $20, and we keep updating the folder with new music, new content, new videos,
which is sick. That's like that's super dope.
Yeah. So like anybody who has access to that folder, if they purchase the album, I've already updated it 2 times. I've updated it with new tracks and shit like that, and you're the only person that will get those tracks, and you feel like this connection between artist and fan. Yeah. And then with Bandcamp, it's just the album, and that's all you get, and it's $16 on there. So. Yeah.
You might as well just do the 20.
On the real.
Because you just get way more.
Yeah. And then like it may be some roughs in there I'm gonna throw in there, like, so you get to hear like the process of songs. You know what I'm saying? I may put a rough draft on there without a hook and be like, what y'all think about this? Yeah. Okay, bet. All right, for sure. Take that song out and then put the hook back on there and then throw it back in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's
like getting them involved with the process.
For a few dollars more, you get a deluxe version of it.
Exactly. Yeah. $4 more, you get the deluxe.
I heard you talking a little bit about like, you know, some other, I don't know if it was like, I don't know who it was. Was it Kanye West or somebody who kind of rolled with that concept?
Oh yeah, Kanye and Ty Dolla $ign did the same shit after I did it, and not saying that like they stole my idea. Them niggas probably have no idea who I am. I'm just saying that just tells me that I had a great idea. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yep. On the real. Yeah, but Kanye did the similar thing. They put out a folder and they updated.
Yeah. Shit's fire, dude.
On the real.
Yeah, man. I just want to say thanks, dude, because like literally, I didn't really know like Trizz, like, you know, until the meetup at the shoot, and I was just like, man, I gotta just tell you, dude, like, you know, and just invite you.
Thank you.
You know, Trizz was so cool. It's like, yeah, man, I'll pull up. Nah, it's nothing. Like,
oh yeah, thank you.
We made it happen real quick, and
dude,
it's dope, kind of getting you more of your insight, like behind your
especially
music.
you being from the IE, that was easy.
Yeah, that was cool.
Anything IE. You know, it's, you know, we get overshadowed. So anytime I could help out, anytime I could help put or you know, help a platform out that's from the coast, from where I'm from, I'm gonna always put my foot down and do it.
It's dope, man. That's one of the things I was like, I wanted to say too, or mention is like, you know, I feel like you're making IE proud, you know, just because like you're putting IE on the map. One of the main dudes doing that. You know, that number is very few.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's very few.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really dope as well.
Yeah.
I like Hit Boy would be another guy. You know.
Oh yeah. I finally got in contact with him. I'm super dope to work with him. We
Yeah.
talked about working, and he from Fontana too.
Yeah,
Same
crazy.
area I'm from and shit like that. So
Yeah.
and he's one of the top producers in the game. Shit, he had.
He's
He
coming
said.
up like
He
that.
said he got Nas to say Fontana on the track. I'm like, nigga,
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's
yeah,
crazy.
nigga,
Yeah.
like putting the IE on the map is like. I'm also from LA too, so but it's IE every day, all day.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? But
yeah.
at the end of the day, I put on for the coast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
we still kind of like trying to get back in the door, and Kendrick is like kicking that door down for us.
Dude.
You know what I'm saying?
You know,
He's holding that flag.
yeah,
for
there's
sure.
been artists that have been wanting to do that, but Kendrick actually, I went to his pop up on Juneteenth.
Oh, you went? Oh,
I was
damn,
there.
yeah.
Fire, dude.
Man, that shit was so tight,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
That shit
He
was
had
so
Dr.
tight.
Dre come out. He had his whole crew, Schoolboy Q and everybody.
Yeah.
Like,
Hell
it
yeah.
was
My boy
fire.
TF was
Yeah.
there. He shouted out TF while he was on stage.
damn.
Yeah.
The
like,
fact that he memorized his like tracks like he just did was kind of crazy to me.
yeah,
too.
yeah.
And,
Then they had tried to point out, they was like, because he had fucked up on the verse on Not Like Us.
He pulled it off though. Like I really couldn't tell. even
I
though
couldn't tell either. He fucked up, but it was just like, bro, the niggas performing for like an hour and 15 minutes, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Y'all don't, like, y'all so used to going to shows where niggas are performing over their vocals and shit
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
getting assistance. Like, nigga, he's a real performer.
Yeah,
Fool.
yeah. I
So
didn't even
of course
hear.
he's gonna fuck
yeah.
up sometime.
I didn't even hear like a background vocal. I just heard straight him. Like,
Yeah, that's it. That's all you're gonna hear. That's a real show.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's fire, dude.
They're
One of
gonna
the best
sweat him.
shows.
They're gonna sweat him off that. You made the biggest hit, dissing the biggest artist. You
Yeah.
fucked up a couple times live
Yeah,
in front of
like-
all these fans. That's what they're gonna get him for.
That's what they got. Out of all of that shit, out of the whole night, he performed all these hits for your ass.
Bringing
And that's
everybody
what-
together, uniting every shit.
He's like, yeah, but he screwed up on this one part.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
bro,
man.
it's always gonna be somebody that critique a great, bro.
Yeah, of course. Right?
You know what I mean? That shit is crazy.
Yeah, in all seriousness, Trizz, thank you. We appreciate your time, man.
Yeah.
We know how time's valuable in a
Right,
lot
for
of
you,
circles, man. And it's just
No, thank you.
pleasure to get your perspective, especially at your trajectory about like just the common music themes and stuff like that. What we're talking about, whether it
Yeah.
be freestyle and live performance and all that.
Yeah, hell
Yeah, big ups, man. And I see you doing your thing, and I'm just like, dude, I'm excited to see you. You know, you progress still. Like you've been progressing all this time. So
Yeah, hell
it's
yeah,
fire,
man. It's all
man.
about consistency,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
So
So thanks, man, again for coming out. Thanks everybody for listening. Of course, this is the time. Right now, we're gonna have some links right in the description area, so you take your time to do that.
Yep.
Check out the link right there. That's where you could go to check out the album. Telling you, you might as well do the $20.
Yeah, the $20 on belowsystem.com.
Yeah, you're gonna get so much more with doing that.
Yeah.
So check out Trizz, and yeah, till next time. Peace. Thanks again, Trizz, for joining us.
Yep.
All right, go ahead, Mark. Let him have it.
To the MCs, if you drop a mic, drop a like.